conversation. You need a little conversation.
Coming up first at 6, Ministry of Finance officials explain why tax increases will begin July 1st. The finance minister slamming the opposition on their comments on the new budget. And officers from several law enforcement agencies graduate from a joint training exercise today.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, first at 6. This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC every day.
Good evening, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, first at 6. The Free National Movement held a press conference this morning to discuss the reasons why several tax increases will begin when the new fiscal year begins on July 1st. Minister of Finance, Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Peter Turnquest, answered several questions from the press, though, on the much-talked-about increase in value-added tax. Altaviz Munnings has tonight's top story.
In an effort to return the Bahamas on good economic standing, Minister of Finance, Deputy Prime Minister the Honorable Peter Turnquest revealed at a live press conference Thursday why the government made its decisions in the 2018-2019 fiscal year, and that included the raise in value-added tax from 7.5% to 12% come July. The finance minister said the government acknowledges that this hefty increase will affect many Bahamians. In fact, Minister Turnquest noted that 7.5% value-added tax wasn't the original figure when introduced several years ago.
When the previous government introduced value-added tax, they wanted to come in at as high as 17%. So even in the early days, it was recognized, on their behalf anyway, that 7.5% was low. It also allows us to balance the budget and to put us in a situation where we can start to pay down some of our debt, as well as to return back to the Bahamian people in tangible terms through reductions in excise and duty and other things, real dollars.
But while in opposition, Turnquest didn't believe then that value-added tax should be levied on the Bahamian people. Now, as Minister of Finance, he explained why he made those decisions back then.
The government of the day had the opportunity then to start to roll back some of the costs that had been accumulated in government to cushion the ramp-up in expenditure that was done to offset the effects of that recession. Instead, they held on to those increases and increased them even further. As I said earlier, the payroll went up 266 million just in that period.
Altaviz Munnings, ZNS Network News.
Well, the finance minister says the opposition is in no position to criticize the minister administration over its budget after the condition the former administration left the country's finances in. The Progressive Liberal Party say they refuse to vote for a 12% increase in value-added tax that would amount to a 60% hike, called the new budget reckless, and said it was an indication that the government does not know what it is doing. Turnquest says the PLP should examine its own record.
It is laughable that an opposition that oversaw a massive run-up in debt over the last 5 years would have the nerve, the gall, to stand before the Bahamian people to talk about this current government that is taking the very deliberate and difficult decision to try and fix this runaway train that we've had for the last 5 years, to talk about we don't know what we're doing. The fact of the matter is that they have oversaw and run up in the payroll, just the wages of the government, by $266 million.
Transport Minister the Honorable Frankie Campbell says his ministry is getting closer to launching the pilot unified busing project. He says although it was initiated by former Minister Glenys Hannah Martin, governments are continuous and he fully believes it will benefit Bahamians. The pilot program is being funded by a $500,000 grant from the Inter-American Development Bank.
A team has been identified. They are persons who are already in the industry, but they will be dedicated to this pilot project for the time frame that it is in force. The housing has been put in place, the team has been identified. We just need now to get the vehicles, put them on the road, because the route itself has already been identified, bus stops put in place, etc. So it's just a question of getting it going.
He says the pilot program will last for a 6-month period and will be used to gather data to consider the feasibility of a unified system. The minister says the routes will cross several areas to allow effective data collection. He also commented on feedback from bus drivers.
The question of a unified busing system has been around for a very long time. It's not a new subject. It's not a contentious one. The fact of the matter is the Bahamian public, particularly those of us in New Providence, deserve a system that is reliable, deserve a system that gives certain assurances. And so, like any other government, our job is to do the best we can for the most we can. And the most persons are not the bus drivers or the bus owners. The majority are the persons who use the system. So it is their voices that must matter most.
And still to come, the Red Cross launching an appeal. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, first at 6, the news leader.
BTC is giving the gift of rollover data, plus free unlimited WhatsApp calls, texts, pictures, and videos. Choose from our 1-day plan for $349, 7-day plan for $9.99, or our 15-day plan for only $29.99. We've even thrown in unlimited BTC to BTC calls and texts. Dial *203# to activate your plan today. Share every moment with BTC. Terms and conditions apply.
Are your monthly bills coming in on top of your holiday bills? It's time for a change. Bundle your bills into one low-rate loan with Commonwealth Bank. Move your high-rate loans and credit card balances from other banks to a low-rate consolidation loan at Commonwealth Bank. Less stress, less to pay, each and every month. Plus, the chance to win $5,000. So make a change. Get a consolidation loan at Commonwealth Bank and pay less.
Every day at KFC, our cooks begin with the freshest pieces of chicken, hand breading and seasoning before cooking to golden perfection, making chicken that's hot, fresh, and ready for you to grab and head to your favorite spot for a meal with friends and family. The secret to preparing the world's juiciest, tastiest chicken, bundled with a variety of delicious sides, is real cooks who love what they do. Taste the KFC difference. Fresh prepared, in-store daily. KFC Nassau, it's finger-licking good.
This portion of the news brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, your leader in personal banking.
The Royal Bahamas Defense Force arming its officers with the knowledge they need to make better decisions when protecting our borders. In recent months, the force has been challenged with illegal migrants passing security checkpoints. And today, a large group of them, alongside 2 prominent law enforcement agencies, graduated from a joint training exercise.
It was a month to remember for some 35 Defense Force officers, 50 police officers, and 2 customs officers who received hands-on training in the classroom and on the high seas in small boat handling, marine tactics, and air and ground close combats. On Thursday, the participants graduated from the Joint Combined Training Exercise conducted by the United States Special Operations Command North and Naval Special Warfare instructors. Participant leading seaman Roscoe Green shared his experience.
Some of the tactics and training that we learned, going forward, we'll be able to implement those in our routine patrols, etc. We'll also be able to more effectively strategize our planning in terms of mission accomplishment and so forth moving forward. Helped me to utilize my leadership skills. Me being the senior person amongst the squad, I was able to deploy them in the different formations. Also, I was able to organize the squads into different formations.
Meanwhile, Commodore Bethel says this training exercise is just what the force needs to better protect our borders.
This joint combined exchange training exercise it ties into, see, this is one of the things that is unfolding right now. It ties into this overall concept of a multi-layered security approach, where you are now bringing all of your law enforcement agencies together, and what is fundamental to the success of bringing them together is the training on how to operate together and how to function together.
Minister of National Security, the Honorable Marvin Dame, says it's the government's commitment to ensure that law enforcement officers receive the best available training, confidence, ability, and capacity to keep us all safe. Assistant Police Commissioner for Operational Support, Ken Strawn, echoed similar sentiments.
I view it as an extremely beneficial that our local law enforcement agencies were able to interact with members of the U.S. Special Warfare community to learn new tactics and techniques.
We have been facing over the past several years incidents of violence, incidents of smuggling, both on land and at sea. You find that the officers now have a little better strength and ability to go out there and continue their fight.
Several police and defense force participants will travel to St. Kitts and Nevis this weekend to attend further training and the execution of the Trade Winds program. Trade Winds will take place June 12th through 22nd and focuses on countering transnational and organized crimes.
An off-duty officer was shot following an attempted carjacking early this morning. Police say after 2, the officer was off Tony Williams-Darling Highway when 2 men approached him and attempted to enter his vehicle. The culprits were not successful and fled the scene. The officer then followed them to the Robinson Road area where they jumped out of the car and fired shots at the officer. He returned fire but was injured. The officer was transported to hospital. Meanwhile, a 72-year-old male is dead, apparently from drowning on Guana Key, Abaco, Wednesday. Police say they received a report around 4 p.m. that 2 males on a 44-foot vessel were swimming in the area of Baker's Bay Dock when one of the men was found floating in the water. He was taken to the Marsh Harbor Clinic where he was pronounced dead. Investigations into that matter continues. 5 foreign nationals from China and Ecuador are facing a magistrate today charged with possession of dangerous drugs with the intent to supply. They were arrested on Saturday in the area of East Bay. The group included 4 Chinese ages 39, 35, and 2 minors, a male and a female, both 17. The Ecuadorian was 18 years of age. They pleaded not guilty to the charges and were remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections. They head back to court on August 7th. The Bahamas Red Cross Society is still in dire need of donations to meet its financial demands. The organization's annual budget is pegged at $600,000. Director General Caroline Turnquest telling ZNS News that the organization was only able to raise $46,000 from its Red Cross fair in April. She says that figure is less than half of the $70,000 to $80,000 the organization normally collects.
We are having serious financial dilemma because of the ongoing expenses. You know, there's your utility bills, there's your staff bills, you know, you have to purchase food, you have to keep the doors open. And so, yes, we have been very much challenged over these past few months, and it's becoming, you know, difficult, and hence we'll run from one fundraiser to the next. So be on the lookout shortly. We have a fundraiser coming up in August is our next planned fundraiser, which will be a golf tournament. But in between there, we're looking to see what we can do.
Stay with us. Sports is next. You're watching the news leader first at 6.
That portion of the news was brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, the leader in personal banking services.
Cellular and Electronics is your one-stop shop for all your electronic needs. From the latest in cell phones and accessories like the iPhone 6s Plus to the Samsung S6 Edge, the latest in game consoles, games, and accessories. We also carry the best hoverboards, stereo sound systems, and much more. We also have certified technicians to fix all your electronic needs. Located in the Coconut Grove Plaza and the mall at Marathon. What are you waiting for? Come on down to CTI Cellular and Electronics today.
Together, we laugh more. We discover more. We dream more. Together, we connect more. We cheer more. Grab life by the bundle and fuel your passion for your favorite things. Enhance your entertainment experience with Flow Evo, internet and home phone in one simple package. The hotter the bundle, the more you get. Grab life by the bundle with BTC.
Rugs, carpet tiles, ceramic tiles, floor mats, even vinyl flooring. Find them all at Wright's Carpet Masters located on Bernard Road. Let them cater to your home or your office need. And you can choose from a variety of carpets, floor mats, cashmere, oriental rugs, and area rugs. And if you can't come to us, we will bring the business to you. Offering free estimates and deliveries to the Family Islands. Wright's Carpet Masters will get it right for you. Located on Bernard Road, telephone number 364-1260.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Welcome to sports, everybody. This holiday weekend, all about the Long Island Regatta. Vaughn Albury is in Salt Pond.
This is some of the crowd here at the 51st Annual Long Island Regatta watching on the big screen. They're watching the Class A race, but guess what? There was a bit of a mishap on the Class A race when the red stripe out of Black Point Exuma did not finish the race.
Well, we were on the way on the starboard tack to the buoy. The Legend and the Running Tide were coming on port, but I think we had the right of way and we to make the buoy first. But before that happened, the Good News and us collided.
So what happens from here? Are you going to be in the points race?
No, we won't be able to win the race overall because right now we get a DNF, so no points today. So it's hard to come back from 2 races to win it all. But tomorrow and the next day, I can guarantee you we'll win 2 races and mix up some points.
Tell Exumans what you want them to know for today and going forward. Talk to Exuma.
Well, yesterday we had some problems. So today we adjust our sails and we had some tremendous shot from the Bahama and Nabi Black, and the crew we handled the boat tremendous. So therefore, victory is in our sight. But if we didn't have that collide today, we sure we'd make the Eximian proud today. But we're gonna be back tomorrow. Our heads up high. The guys on the way to the lumber store to get some lumber, and we're gonna be back tomorrow. Our spirit is still high. We ain't no doubt about it. We're gonna win 2 races tomorrow.
And though there was a mishap with Red Stripe, once again, Long Island Stephen Knowles proved to be a winner. Stephen, you've won 4 races in 2 days. What's the winning formula?
We won. There was a lot of stiff competition there today, especially in that A class between the Running Tide, the Legend, and the Justice. The Justice led for the greater part of the first leg, and I was sailing very close to him for a very long time. And then the Legend came, and I had to tack away from the Legend, so I was trying to fight the 2 of them at once. I somehow made it out of that jam, and we went around the buoy first, and I stayed in front until the end.
And what do you expect after day 4? That you'll be the overall winner? Can you relinquish that? Is there any threat?
Well, you know, in sailing, it's very important to stay competitive. You know, basically what happened to the Red Stripe today, that threw them out. You know, there's not even a chance for them to win anymore. You have to stay consistent. You have to stay in the top 2 in A class and B class, or 3. In C class, you got to stay in the top 3 or 4. If not, you know, once you fall back and have one bad race, there's too many fast boats, too many competitive skippers, and you're not going to win.
And winning is a formula for Long Islanders. Even though Stephen and his family have been winning, this formula continues with the Long Island Regatta because it's a win-win situation for all. Indeed, Stephen, you got a lot of family members here behind you.
Yes, indeed, Vaughn. You know, all of these people you see behind here, they're either uncles, sister-in-laws, brother-in-laws, cousins, some sort of Knowles blood in all of them. You know, the Knowleses are a very strong group of people, a very prominent family in this country. You know, we have some very smart people, doctors, engineers, lawyers,
sailors, boat builders.
And the most important thing is we have the best boat builders and sailors in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and there's nobody out there that can deny that.
Okay, indeed. I want you to come down here because the Long Island Regatta has been a wonderful time for everyone. Reporting from Salts Pond, I am Vaughn Aubrey, ZNS Total Sports.
The Providence Softball Association on the diamond earlier this week at the Blue Hill Sporting Complex. Our Amajal Knowles was there for the doubleheader.
After several days off due to issues with the field, play resumed in the Providence Softball Association. In the first game saw ladies action with the Johnson Lady Truckers taking on the BTC Lady Warriors. The Truckers steamrolled the Warriors after getting out to a 7-run lead in the first inning, ultimately cruising to a 14-1 win. Winning pitcher Laurel Roll.
I just went out there, thought the strikes I needed to throw, the changes to get them swinging that we were missing, and I did what I had to do.
Roll not taking all the shine for holding the Warriors to 1 run. She credited the play of her teammates as well.
They did what they also had to do. They made the plays. Kind of practice hard work. That's what you do on the field.
Over on the men's side, we saw a hotly contested affair between the CNS Hitmen and the BTC Warriors, and this game was more of a pitcher's duel as both aces pitched several good innings, but ultimately it was the Hitmen's defense and limited errors that saw them walk away with a 4-zip win. As for the heavy trash talking that could be seen between the two teams during the game,
followed good faith. Just straight competitiveness. Sherman played on this team early on in his softball career, and so we have some things to say, but it isn't personal. It's all about fun, and the best man wins.
Play will resume on Thursday. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Amajal Knowles.
And that'll do it for sports. Stay tuned and check on weather still to come.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by 4th Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Food. It is as essential as air is to breathe and water is to drink. Food is life. But where does our food come from? The Bahamas has more than 2,000 farmers, but it's hardly enough to keep up with our growing population. Or is it? We traveled the nation to find out the answers to the questions everyone is asking. Can we feed ourselves?
Starting June 14th, the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas proudly presents the exciting games of the FIFA World Cup 2018 live from Russia. Watch all the thrilling action as 32 teams play for 64 heart-stopping matches in 11 different Russian cities until the sensational final match on July 15th in Moscow for the coveted place in the 2021 FIFA Confederations Cup competition. Tune into ZNS TV this June for the FIFA World Cup 2018 live from Russia, and be sure to contact your ZNS account executive or the ZNS sales office at 502-3800 to book your special FIFA World Cup 2018 sponsorship package.
How passionate are you in what you're doing here?
Very passionate. I've not been good at a lot of things, but cooking is one thing that I put my best foot forward every time I step in the kitchen. I do not accept mediocrity. If it's bad before it goes out to the guests, it's not coming out. I'd rather have a dish come out to the guests late and right than on time and wrong.
You thought it was the talk of the town, but get ready for more.
More energy, more excitement, exhilarating, compelling, informative, educational talk on The Conversation.
I'm Shanique Miller. Pull up a chair with a cup of tea and join me weekdays at 4 on Radio Bahamas, 1540 AM, 104.5 FM, and The Light, 810 AM for The Conversation. I'm excited to have you around the table.
How much can the Bahamas cut its billion-dollar food import bill? What are we really producing to feed ourselves? What are the challenges facing food production in our country? How can you contribute to reducing our food import bill? Find the answers to these questions and much more. Watch Agriculture Now with Carla Palmer, Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. and Saturdays at 9 a.m. on the ZNS Television Network.
Make
Make sure to tune in to ZNS TV 13 each Saturday at 6 p.m. for Road to Russia 2018 FIFA World Cup.
This is the road to the 2018 FIFA World Cup.
Everybody, I on TV. Look, I on TV. Mom, guess what it is? That's me. Pretend you see me? I on television. I gotta tell my girlfriend I on television.
Hello?
Babe, turn your television to ZNS.
Quick, I'm on television. I don't have a TV in here. We have Wi-Fi though. We have Wi-Fi.
That's fine. They upgrade now. You can watch it live from your phone.
You just have to download the app. All right, hold on.
Go to the App Store, type in ZNS, download the app, and you'll be able to watch ZNS straight from your phone. Hurry up and start over again.
Get your news and more anytime, anywhere with the new ZNS app. Stay connected from around the globe with our live stream news updates, all in the palm of your hand. You can also listen to the ZNS Radio Network for your favorite music. Go into your Apple or Google Play Store and download the ZNS app today.
Miss, I just star now. I still gotta pay.
In Caribbean news this Thursday, a new study published by the New England Journal of Medicine estimates that there were almost 6,000 deaths in Puerto Rico since the landfalls of Hurricanes Irma and Maria last year. Hurricane Maria made landfall in Puerto Rico on September 20th, 2017, compounding the destruction caused by Hurricane Irma 2 weeks earlier, damaging roads and interrupting the water supply, electricity, telecommunications networks, and access to medical care. A situation assessment by Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel took place during heavy downpours on the island by subtropical storm Alberto. Received preliminary reports from most affected areas indicating 4 deaths and considerable material infrastructure and home damages. Details about the victims have not yet been released.
Time now for weather.
In our first look at weather, tropical moisture continues to stream northward into the Florida Straits while high pressure across the Bahamas begins to collapse. Outside of our studios, we have a mix of cloud and sunshine. Your temperature 82 degrees, relative humidity 61%. The winds are out of the southeast at 13 miles per hour. Your barometric pressure 1,016.7 millibars. That's 30.01 inches, and it is falling. That's going to do it for your first look at weather at 6. Stay tuned, more weather is still to come.
Thanks a lot, Basil, and that's news in the Bahamas tonight, first at 6. But don't go anywhere. News from the north is up next.
Make sure to tune in to ZNS TV 13 each Saturday at 6 p.m. for Road to Russia 2018 FIFA World Cup.
This is the road to the 2018 FIFA World Cup.
Join us this Sunday for the special program, The Bahamas at CHOGM 2018, right here on the ZNS Television Network.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Residents voice their concern on the new increase for a value-added tax. Workers of the 52 Weeks program in Grand Bahama in an uproar. Sentencing for one of the men in the Barry and Sheena Johnson murder trial.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Roll-Parkinson. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news this evening, the government's plan to increase value-added tax to 12% is creating quite a buzz here on Grand Bahama. The Minister of Finance's presentation in Parliament yesterday is being met with some excitement and disappointment as well. Our Italia Hall took to the streets today to find out what Grand Bahamians are saying about the 2018-2019 budget.
Well, Shashina, some call it a bitter pill to swallow, the 4.5% increase in value-added tax. Yes, come July 1st, Bahamians will begin paying a 12% tax on some goods and services. This increase is projected to deliver an additional $4 million in revenue for the government. But while there's an increase in value-added tax, the budget included some tax relief as well. The Minister of Finance, the Honorable Peter Turnquist, calling the budget one of the most transformative budgets in the history of the nation as they push to eliminate past practices of fiscal mismanagement. But some of the key points that stuck with many residents are some of the tax relief measures, such as the elimination of VAT on all breadbasket items, with the exception of sugar, the elimination of VAT on medicine and residential property insurance as well. Duty will be eliminated on food products such as whole salmon, frozen fish, potato products, tofu, bread spreads, and prepared and preserved tomatoes. The government is also planning to extend for 5 years the first-time homeowner stamp tax exemption, and for 2 more years, duty will be exempted for persons purchasing material used for renovation, repair, and the upgrade of dilapidated buildings. Another key area that caught the attention of many is the increase of customs personal travel exemption. The exemption has now gone from $300 to $500. But the high debate across the country revolves around the announcement by the finance minister that in just a few weeks VAT will be raised by some 4.5%. Residents on Grand Bahama had many opinions and mixed views on the 12% value-added tax.
I don't agree because very little has been done with the monies collected from the prior administration in position of VAT itself.
We know that we have been wasting money for a long time. It's time for us to really take responsibility for the money we're wasting, and we need to pay the deficit.
I'm looking at long term. We know that in order to get out of where we're in right now, we have to increase taxes and we have to do these things in order for the Bahamas to be better later on down the line.
I think it's a bit very high. It's just too high for us right now.
If we need it, I think it's necessary.
The fact of the matter is, all around the world, the prices are going up, things are changing, so we live in an ever-changing world.
I disagree it should go up quite so far. So that's increased to say 10% would have been better and been better received by everyone concerned.
As far as VAT goes, looking at your camera, I would like our government to actually tell us exactly how they're spending the VAT they already got.
Duty is also being reduced on floor tiles and fabric softener. The duty rate on brand new small vehicles will also be set at 25%. But residents on Grand Bahama say while all these exemptions are welcomed, the VAT increase is just another strain on the already ailing economy.
Right.
Thanks to Talia, well, scores of workers in the government's 52-week program were reportedly notified today that their employment has come to an end. Today, a number of workers employed with the Grand Bahama Health Services came to our studios to express outrage about being let go from the program. Well, meantime, the Ministry of the Public Service and National Insurance issued a statement today on the status of the 52-week program, noting that the current program comes to a close today and participants in the program will be given notice pay plus any accrued vacation leave. Now, according to the statement, the Ministry of the Public Service and National Insurance will begin a new 52-week skills empowerment program on July 1st. These new participants will officially receive letters advising the terms of their employment. Now, according to the ministry, its objective is to ensure that by the end of the program, individuals have obtained skills that will help them to be employable and hopefully employed. The program will be launched with a soft skills training designed designed and implemented by the National Training Agency. Training will take place on New Providence, Grand Bahama, Eleuthera, Abaco, Exuma, and any other family island with a sizable number of participants. Participants in the program must successfully complete the training in order to receive certification of their completion. According to these individuals, they were not officially engaged. They were not given any letters of employment, which means that their placement remained uncertain throughout the life of the program. And other partners preparing to host a major conference in a few weeks. The conference will focus on the development of blockchain and cryptocurrency in the Bahamas and around the world. The conference will seek to attract some 500 local, national, and international investors, as well as entrepreneurs. This event is one of the first recommendations made to the government by the Grand Bahama Tech Steering Committee, which was formed last December. Now, this is all in an effort to turn Grand Bahama into an internationally recognized technology hub and the Silicon Valley of the region. The Ministry of State for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Kwesi Thompson, says there will be a number of national and international speakers at the conference who will focus on a wide range of topics.
Topics to be discussed are the technology sector in the Bahamas is open for business. And this one is really very important because this panel will focus and will have persons like the governor of Central Bank, John Roll. It will have the head of BISIX, Keith Davis. It will have the head of Bahamas Security Commission, Ms. Christina Roll. And it will also include the Bahamas Financial Services Board, persons like Tanya McCartney. It is really a message to the world that the Bahamas wants to be in this space. Also, another topic to be discussed is why should we invest in the Bahamas?
Now, Chairman of the Steering Committee, Dr. Donovan Moxey, shared more about the website and urged persons to pre-register online for the conference.
Buzz that has been ongoing around this conference globally. Believe me, there's a lot of buzz that's been ongoing. And we know there's a lot of interest in what the Bahamas has to offer. If many of us have been looking and reading around blockchain and what the other countries and jurisdictions are doing, everybody has already talked about what they're doing. But the Bahamas has not made any official remarks or official position on what it's doing. We are going to reveal and unveil everything at this conference. We anticipate that there's a lot of pent-up demand for registration, so what we're asking people to do in order to save their slot is to pre-register. The site is live now. Go on the site and pre-register. That holds your slot. And so we encourage everybody to go in, fill in the form. Once registration officially opens, we will then send those persons notifications so they can go ahead and complete their registration process. But we anticipate huge global demand for this.
Now, persons can pre-register or find out more about the information and by visiting this official website, blockbahamaschainconference.com. The 3-day conference will take place at the Grand Lucine Resort. That's June 20th to the 22nd. In news from the courts, it was decision day for Paul Belazaire, the man convicted of the armed robbery of Barry and Sheena Johnson, the couple that was killed at their home in September 2015. Today, Belazaire was sentenced to 25 years in prison. The time already spent in prison will be taken into account. Belazaire was also accused of the murder of Barry and Sheena Johnson, but earlier this month, the jury in the case returned with a hung jury on the murder charge. Now, 2 other men were also on trial along with Belazaire. In the case of Kevin Dames, there was a hung jury on the charges of murder and armed robbery. And Devon Hall, he was found guilty on all 3 counts, armed robbery and the murder of Barry and Sheena Johnson. Police in Abaco are investigating an apparent drowning of a 70-year-old American visitor. Police tell us that shortly after 4 p.m., officers received a report that 2 males on board a 44-foot vessel was swimming in the area of the Bakers Bay dock on Guana Key when the victim was discovered floating in the water. CPR was rendered, but the elderly man never regained consciousness. He was transported to the Marsh Harbor Clinic where he was pronounced dead on arrival. Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, continues right after this.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Dolly Madison, Freeport's original home center.
You
musicians. Churches, nightclubs, Radio Shack is now stocked with heavy-duty power amps, powered speakers, subwoofers, cordless and wired microphones, lavaliers, guitar strings, drumsticks, skins and accessories, guitar and bass amps, DI boxes, crossovers, line conditioners, percussion instruments, clarinet and saxophone reeds, PA systems, mixers, routers, hard drives, sound cards, tablets, MacBook Pro power cords and adapters, and so much more at the new Radio Shack at Dolly Madison Home Center.
Come on down. All last year, I fell in love with Belinda. But this year, I want to just kick it up a notch.
Did you hear about our new bamboo line?
When he started talking about you can sit on TV.
Hold on, Dr. Love. Not that type of bamboo you're talking about. You ain't hear about the nice bamboo sheet. And you can get it in all colors. And if you ain't want it in the sheets, Dr. Love, you can get it in the pillows.
Thank God for island bedding.
Come and visit me at number 5, Queens Highway, Island Bedding.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Mo Davis Beauty Zone. Be beautiful, be you. Located at number 1 Britannia Mini Mall, Caravel Beach.
I never experienced in my life. I don't. Words can't describe it. For 55 miles per hour, ripping and tearing. All my roof and everything, tear it off.
The house it was on, I'm still what he has built, it was gone.
As the 2018 Atlantic hurricane season approaches, the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas is bringing you all the information you need to be prepared this hurricane season. Tune in to stay informed.
Covering the Northern Bahamas, you're watching the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Welcome back. 31 cadets are celebrating tonight after completing their training year in the Grand Bahama Health Services and Ministry of Health Nursing Cadet Program. The graduation ceremony held yesterday in the foyer of the Rand Memorial Hospital.
High school students on Grand Bahama completing the Nursing Cadets program, an initiative designed to introduce students to the nursing profession and give them a jump start in preparing for future careers. The Cadets program exposes students to the necessary theory information and provides them with practical training on the various wards. Hospital Administrator Sharon Williams encouraged the students to remember the values they learned during the program.
For it is that desire, the desire to serve, that drives all other desires and characteristics of nursing, such as the desire to learn, so as to serve, the desire to be excellent, which you alluded to, and that is also so that you may serve with excellence, the desire to achieve your goals in becoming a true nurse so that you can care for and serve the people of our country.
Past program coordinator and guest speaker Patricia Hanschel expanding on the theme of nurses committed to excellence. She encouraged the cadets to take their roles seriously, to always treat patients with respect and do the little things with care.
Florence Nightingale, pioneer in nursing, rightly stated using the 3 C's. Nurses must be caring. Nurses must be compassionate. Compassion is at the core of nursing. Nurses must be committed. In fact, when you cadets state the Nurses Pledge, which was formulated in 1893, you will repeat, "I will devote myself to the welfare of those committed to my care."
Makaya Bain completed the program, while Azaria Lowe will be continuing during the next year. Both cadets say they have learned valuable lessons about the profession.
Being on the wards is my favorite part of cadets. I could always remember finding my way into the pediatric ward to cheer up the patients. I've learned over the 3-year period that respect should always come first with being a nurse. Every time I deal with a patient, I have to remember that this person could be my family. I have to treat them with respect.
During my first year, I observed many procedures, watched nurses give patients the hope and faith that they needed. As much as I would love to go on, it is only my first year in the program,
And I have learned that nurses are the most caring and compassionate people that you can ever come across. And I will indeed be here again next year.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Counselor for Central Grand Bahama, Frazette Gibson, celebrating a major accomplishment for the Wellington-Pinder Heights subdivision. Counselor Gibson announcing that the first phase of the park is complete and residents as well as children in the community now have a beautiful space to enjoy.
We have already cleared the property and we have now put on the park package, and so we are just waiting on the remainder of the fill to be delivered before it is leveled off, and then we will continue with our basketball court and then also with our gazebo, and then in our next stage, probably in the next 3 years, you will see a center for after-school activities so that students can come and be assisted with homework help.
Ashton Pinder lives in the area and he says his son is excited about playing on the park.
Very good for there because last week, as you know, Hunters had their park opening, so and the kids were walking way down there, so I guess it's good that it's in their own backyard.
And now it is time to ask the doctor.
As I mentioned, welcome. As I mentioned previously, each year we commemorate Lupus Awareness Month in May. On today's segment, I will answer Michelle's final question. Do people with lupus have to follow a special diet? Again, Michelle, thank you for all your great questions on lupus, and the short answer is yes. When the disease is active, also known as a lupus flare, there may be some dietary restrictions. The doctor, along with the dietitian, will determine the best diet. If someone develops kidney disease as a result of lupus, this is what we call lupus nephritis, they may need to eat less protein. This is because most persons with lupus nephritis have protein in their urine, which in large amounts can cause further kidney damage. If high blood pressure is a factor, persons should not only eat a low-salt diet, but should take their blood pressure medications as prescribed by their doctor, because poorly controlled blood pressure in someone with lupus will not only cause further damage to the kidneys, but to the heart as well. If being overweight is an issue, weight loss can also help with achieving better blood pressure control, but it's important to speak with your doctor before starting any exercise program. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt, and this has been Ask the Doctor.
Tea's Perfume Depot is a one-stop gift shop that offers a little bit of everything for everybody. We have something for children, for adults, for men, for women. We also have jewelry, we have watches, we have accessories. We also have a perfume ordering service here, so you can have your fragrance order that takes about 7 days to get here. A lot of hard work, a lot of prayers. And I believe I love what I do, and the passion is there for it. I love dealing with people on a daily basis, and I think that's the passion that keeps me going. We're located in Commonwealth Plaza next to Bahamas Air Ticketing Office, New Image Beauty Supply, and Chances. We're right there in the middle.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Freeport Jewelers in Port Lucaya. Fashion starts here.
Lucayan Medical Center provides services in family medicine, internal medicine, obstetrics, gynecology, surgery, pain management, psychiatry, audiology, podiatry, and dentistry. We offer laboratory, ECG, X-rays, ultrasound, CAT scans, and MRI scans. Also here, pharmacy, physiotherapy, fitness programs, and pre-employment medical screening. Skilled staff serve you with dignity and confidentiality. Visit Lucayan Medical Center for your healthcare needs.
makeup by Megan Coakley. When you want to look like a star, phone 443-7979.
Topping sports, the Hoyts Labor Day Basketball Classic now underway. President of the organization, Gladstone Moan McPhee, says that this time around, the tournament is sponsored by the Ministry of Labor under the Honorable Dion Folks. He says it is an exciting time as 47 basketball teams from around the country will take part in this event. Meanwhile, the director of the tournament is encouraging residents to support this year's tournament.
It runs from the 31st of May to the 2nd of June. And trust me, ladies and gentlemen, we're using two gyms, St. George's and Jack Hayward. That's the amount of teams that we have for this tournament. And we have ages from 7 and 8 right up to 17, 18.
There are 47 basketball squads that are registered on our books, emanating from 18 different organizations. In the girls' division, there are 12 teams, 4 in the 11-12 category, along with another 4 in the 13 to 14, and finally in the open.
Now, there are 29 boy teams in the division. Assistant Director of Labor Janet Russell says that they are pleased to be a part of this tournament.
The minister is very happy to be a part of this event, and come Thursday he will be on the island to officially open the event. So I just want to take this opportunity to encourage all teams out there to come out, do your best. You know, basketball is Freeport country.
Now, once again, the Hoyts tournament is underway until June 2nd at the Jack Hayward and St. George's Gym. Well, the first annual Grand Bahama Powerboat Summer Fest is set for this weekend, beginning tomorrow under the theme Fuel the Power at Tino Beach. The event is being put on by a small group of entrepreneurs, Prodigy Group. Member Juanito Boodle urges everyone to come out and enjoy the fun.
The races will be competitive. It will be. We have people calling from Abaco, Grand Key, Nassau. They want to take part. We have boaters coming in from the U.S. They want to come on board. Listen, you're gonna come out and you won't be disappointed. The food will be great. The entertainment will be great. We're just gonna have lots of fun. The boaters, you know, one of the things they've been saying, everybody asking about the prize. Yes, it is a cash prize. It is. You will have to race to get that cash. So, but like they say, put your money where your mouth is.
Now, in addition to the food and fun, there will be competition for 4 classes of powerboats and jet skis. One of Grand Bahama's oldest marine companies, OBS Marine Limited, is a local sponsor of the Grand Bahama Powerboat Race Summer Fest. Representative Claren Bartlett says the beach will be packed with action.
It's just not a powerboat race, it's also a fishing tournament, poker run, so you don't have to have the fastest boat to participate. We're having a Mercury event for the whole week, so it's going to be something going on. Boats from Florida, Abaco, like they said, all over the Bahamas are willing to participate.
Now, international soca artist Dastra Garcia will be performing Saturday night alongside Bahamian performer Stillit. And that's a check on sports.
Portion of the news is brought to you by Steppin' Out. Satisfy your style habits with shoes for every occasion. Steppin' Out, when you want to put your best foot forward.
Welcome to
Jags International. We have Celebration, Valeria, FRS, Bahamas Air, Hotel, car vouchers now on sale.
Girls, I tried book my ticket online with them ferry them. So complicated, they asking for too much.
That's why I stick to Jags. No agency fees or booking fees. Cash and credit, all the same. Blow deals and spectacular services with a smile.
Yes, that's Jags, your one-stop shop to Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, and Miami.
We even offer cheap car rental vouchers, Dollar, Thrifty, Hertz, and VIP service.
Book now with Jags and get their $5 discount card. And don't forget the super sales going on.
More Makeup by Megan Coakley. When you want to look like a star. Phone 443-7979.
Influenza or the flu can be serious, causing hospitalization and sometimes death. One of the best ways to prevent acquiring the flu is to get your annual flu shot. Flu shots are available free of charge at all community clinics. The following high-risk persons are encouraged to get their annual flu shots: children 6 months and older, pregnant women, adults over the age of 50, persons with asthma, diabetes, hypertension, or a weakened immune system resulting from cancer and/or HIV, persons in nursing homes, and healthcare providers. Additional information regarding the flu shot can be provided by your nearest community clinic or the Health Education Division at the Ministry of Health. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the Public Hospitals Authority.
And a special congratulations going out to all the nurses graduating tonight, especially you, Candace Thurston, soon to be Roll. And that's going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of our entire ZNS News team, I'm Shashina Roll-Farquharson. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Everybody, I on TV. Look, I on TV. Mom, guess what it is? That's me. Bartender, you see me? I on television. I gotta tell my girlfriend I on television.
Hello?
Babe, turn your television to ZNS.
Quick, I'm on television. I don't have a TV in here.
We have Wi-Fi though.
We have Wi-Fi.
That's fine. They upgrade now. You can watch it live from your phone.
You just have to download the app. All right, hold on.
Go to the App Store, type in ZNS, download the app, and you'll be able to watch ZNS straight from your phone. Hurry up and start over again.
Get your news and more anytime, anywhere with the new ZNS app. Stay connected from around the globe with our live stream news updates, all in the palm of your hand. You can also listen to the ZNS Radio Network for your favorite music. Go into your Apple or Google Play Store and download the ZNS app today.
Miss I's a star now. I still gotta pay.
Join us this Sunday for the special program, The Bahamas at Chogum 2018, right here on the ZNS Television Network.
The Atlantic hurricane season runs from June 1st through November 30th, when a hurricane alert is issued for your area, which indicates the possibility that you could experience hurricane conditions within 60 hours. You should begin the initial stages of preparation for the storm. When the storm is 48 hours away, a hurricane watch is issued. Once a watch is issued, be sure to get updates from the Met Office via television and radio. Get your battery-powered radio ready. Keep your emergency supply kit, blankets, and sleeping bags handy, and your children and pets indoors. Be sure you have extra cash and that your car has a full tank of gas. Fill all prescriptions. A hurricane warning means that a storm with winds of 74 miles per hour or more is 36 hours away. At this point, secure all windows with shutters and plywood. Place your valuables and records in waterproof containers and store them on the highest floor of your home or in the safest area. This public service announcement has been brought to you by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas in conjunction with the National Emergency Management Agency.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, the National Report.
The Minister of Finance explains why the government raised value-added tax.
Training day for the country's border protectors. And the Red Cross seeks a hand up as revenues fall short. The Bahamas tonight, the National Report starts now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC Every Day.
The government is defending its controversial value-added tax increases and the departure from its previous stance against it. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kish Latterly, and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Topping the news tonight, Finance Minister and Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Peter Turnquest, in a post-budget communication press conference today, said that times and circumstances have changed drastically since members of the Minis administration voiced their opposition to VAT increases. Once again, tonight we have team coverage touching various angles, leading off with our Altavis Munnings.
We've set the rate at 12% because we believe that it will meet the needs of the Bahamas well into the future.
With an over $600 million deficit, Minister of Finance, Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Peter Turnquest, didn't mince words at his ministry's live press conference on the 2018-2019 budget Thursday that when one lives above their financial means, they have to pay. And that's one of the main reasons why the government will increase value-added tax from 7.5% to 12% on July 1st. Financial Secretary Marlon Johnson explained some of the options the government used to finalize the VAT increase.
We went and bought another $638 million. Then now you go next year, you go from $381 million with interest financing to $450 million. And then that's more money. So the problem is, what you do, you kick the can down the road. Borrowing excessively only makes the problem down the road. The second option is we could have continued a false budget. We could have brought in, the good thing about paper is to sit down and let you write anything on it. So we could have carved the budget to say we only could run a $100 million deficit and both Minister and I would sleep a lot better, at least in the short term. But guess what? Again, another 2 or 3 years, bills ain't getting paid, or as we discussed, we could have sent almost 7,000 people. Even if that was done, you create an economic, you take all those salaries out of the economy, you put all those people on social welfare, and you take all that consumption out, and you end up slowing down the economy to negate whatever budget savings you had.
We decided on the 12% rate because it gives us the best opportunity to get through this period of consolidation as quickly as possible and begin to reduce the pain on the Bahamian people.
And according to Minister Turnquest, the new increase in value-added tax is one of the lowest in the region. According to PWC.com, Barbados pays 17.5% value-added tax. 15% value-added tax is levied in Antigua and Barbuda, Jamaica, and the Dominican Republic. Guyana pays 14% value-added tax, and residents in St. Lucia, as well as Trinidad and Tobago, pay 12.5%.
I think the lowest rate that we saw in our comparable states is 12.5%, and they went all the way up to, I think it's 21% or something. And so ours, even though it's increased, it is still below, well below the regional average, and we do not see any further increases in this rate anytime in the near future.
But the question on the minds of many Bahamians is, if taxes go up, will salaries increase too?
If you increase wages in one sector, the business is going to compensate for that, which means they're going to increase the cost of the product or the service that they deliver. That means the consumer who is buying that cost of goods or service, they're going to have to spend more. And then that passes on because they're going to also demand an increase in wage, right? And so it just goes through. And so by the time as you account for the increase in wage, less the cost of living increase as a result of businesses are increasing their cost to compensate for that increase in wage, the net amount of the increase is probably negligible.
Besides value-added tax, Minister Turnquest also responded to comments made about the budget yesterday by the opposition Progressive Liberal Party. My colleague Cleopatra Murphy joins us now with that angle of the story. Cleo?
The Minister of Finance, the Honorable Peter Turnquest, says the opposition is in no position to criticize after the financial position it left the country in.
It is laughable that an opposition that oversaw a massive run-up in debt over the last 5 years would have the nerve, the gall, to stand before the Bahamian people to talk about this current government that is taking the very deliberate and difficult decision to try and fix this runaway train that we've had for the last 5 years.
Progressive Liberal Party Deputy Leader and Spokesperson on Finance, Chester Cooper, said the budget and the plan to increase VAT to 12% was not only dangerous, but the move would undo the progress of the most progressive tax reform in generations. The Minister of Finance struck back and says the Christie administration oversaw and ran up government wages by $266 million in 5 years and left a $650 million deficit.
They have run up expenditures to over $1 billion. Real cost, recurrent cost, that the Bahamian people have to pay. Very irresponsible spending. In the last year alone, you know the number of people who have been sold a dream, been given 3-month contracts and 6-month contracts to try to win an election.
Turnquest says the former administration left government with few options to address the country's current financial condition, and now tough decisions have to be made for the sake of future generations.
We have an obligation as a government, as a people, to ensure that there is a stable Bahamas, a safe Bahamas, a progressive Bahamas for them to inherit. And if that means that I don't know what I'm doing, then God help me. Because I know one thing, not acting is not an option.
Turnquest says the PLP government left Bahamians with a bill no Bahamian was prepared for, and now the current administration must fix it. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
Well, the Deputy Prime Minister also speaking out on the added taxation of gaming houses. Numbers houses and their patrons will be subjected to additional taxes come July, as Jimenita Swain tells us. On the other hand, there's additional aid for the less fortunate in this budget.
Minister of Finance, Deputy Prime Minister the Honorable K. Peter Turnquest providing more clarity Thursday about the proposed taxes that will be levied against gaming operators in the 2018-2019 budget. Industry operators commented in a statement that they feel as if they're being singled out and racially profiled. Finance officials are proposing a sliding scale rate applied to taxable revenue of gaming operators that will see a 20% rate on revenue of up to $20 million to as much as a 50% rate on revenue over $100 million. The finance minister considers the proposed taxes fair, as he says the wealth has been amassing in the hands of a few.
We believe, given the effects that gambling has had on societies, particularly vulnerable family islands, that it is only fair that they pay their fair share and contribute to the social well-being of the Bahamas as much as the Bahamian people have empowered them. We're not targeting them or trying to destroy them, but what we are saying is that you have to make a social contribution, particularly to those communities that you are pulling so much from.
Now, the Deputy Prime Minister also spoke to how the social services net will be bolstered to assist the most vulnerable.
We have put in place measures directly aimed at that group of people who will be most affected by this increase. In addition to that, we have also increased the social services budget by almost $4 million to try and pick up some of the slack for those who may find themselves still in a difficult and vulnerable position.
Other financial measures to be implemented in the new fiscal year include waiving VAT on electricity bills under $100 and water bills at or under $50.
The catastrophic health care will address the critical needs of persons who find themselves in a situation where they are unable to afford the care that they need, particularly life-saving care, and it will reduce that burden and will allow them to save their dignity without going broke.
And while VAT has been eliminated on medication, the finance minister does not expect increases in health care costs. Jiminita Swain, ZNS Network News.
Well, people are still talking about yesterday's budget communication. Our DeAndre Williamson hit the streets today for more feedback.
Taxes and burdens could be added on to an already overburdened public. We can't take any more.
Some Bahamians are making it clear that they are not pleased with the government's decision to add a 5% tax on deposits made at web shops.
We don't know what they're going to do with this web shop thing. We are men of God, we don't buy number. But we say on that added tax that they add in for the VAT, the people can't handle that. You're taking more than you're giving, and you expect us to still live.
Whether it's a web shop or whatever. I mean, I got to go for it, but he ain't saying that I really appreciate it, because people like me wouldn't wait from that time, you know what I'm saying? And, you know what I'm saying? And got to be depending on my little what I'm getting from government, and what my friends give me, I got to be spending everything.
But one visitor had this advice.
Don't care how the tax go. God still is able for his people. So Bahamas, don't worry about nothing. Y'all gonna be good. Just keep on praising God, get back in your prayer closet, and watch God make a way. There's still money in the fish mouth.
In his 2018-2019 budget communication yesterday, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance Peter Turnquest announced a 5% stamp tax to be levied on both deposits made by patrons at gaming houses and any non-online games or digital sales.
The stamp tax is expected to be implemented on July 1st, but one resident says the government should prepare itself for the public's reaction. For ZNS Network News, I'm DeAndre Williamson.
Well, the Free National Movement chairman is backing up the finance minister's budget communication, issuing a statement today saying that education is a top concern of the people and education is a top priority of this F&M government. He says the party was elected a year ago and since that time is focused on education, budgeting and job creation. The budget that is currently being debated, he says, continues to prioritize these issues with an emphasis on education funding. No one knows better than the Prime Minister, he says, that the statement continues, the value of quality education. Mr. Kulma goes on to say that the Prime Minister understands that it's essential to ensuring every Bahamian student is given the opportunity to succeed. The F&M's budget, he says, reflects those priorities, making sure we commit the necessary levels of funding to fix and maintain our schools while also increasing the resources that our children require. He's calling on the opposition leader, Brave Davis, and the PLP to cast aside the typical partisan games and stand with the government in voting yes on the budget. Well, today was the final day for those employed in the former administration's 52-week program. This comes as government is launching its Skills Empowerment Project come July 1st. In a statement released today, the government says persons employed under the 52-week program were never fully engaged and were placed in various government and other offices, irrespective of qualification, stability, or interest. However, under the new project, the ultimate goal is to ensure participants acquire the skills that would help them to become employed. Soft skills training will be carried out by the National Training Agency on New Providence, in Grand Bahama, Eleuthera, Exuma, Abaco, and the Family Islands, which have a significant number of participants. Well, still ahead tonight, find out why these foreign nationals faced a magistrate today. And the Long Island Regatta tops sports news. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, your news leader.
This portion of the news is brought to you by the new Shell and Leaded, designed for extra miles.
This is the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. This is Commonwealth Bank. And no matter how, no matter where, no matter what, Commonwealth Bank is here for you. Commonwealth Bank, everything we do it for you.
Every day at KFC, our cooks begin with the freshest pieces of chicken, hand breading and seasoning before cooking to golden perfection. Making chicken that's hot, fresh, and ready for you to grab and head to your favorite spot for a meal with friends and family. The secret to preparing the world's juiciest, tastiest chicken, bundled with a variety of delicious sides, is real cooks who love what they do. Taste the KFC difference. Fresh prepared, in-store daily. KFC Nassau, it's finger-licking good.
There are stamps for mailing, even rubber and ink stamps, but there's only one stamp that saves you money, and you only get them at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Chef Boyardee spaghetti and meatballs 15-ounce can, $1.09. Whole chicken wings, $1.59 per pound. Rainbow corned beef 12-ounce can, $1.89. Libby whole kernel corn or sliced beets 15-ounce size, 99 cents. Sweet peaches, $1.99 per pound. Carolina Pride hams 10-ounce size, $2.99. Quality stamps only at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Looking for some wines or just having a real good time? Jimmy's Liquor Store is the best. Come put us to the test. It's Jimmy's. When you listen to your Bahamian lyrics, it's Jimmy's. And you feel for your favorite spirits, it's Jimmy's. When you're showing you got your Bahamian flair, it's Jimmy's. When you want that truly Bahamian beer, it's Jimmy's.
If you're at Jimmy's on Shirley Street, ask for Bahamian Gal Jackie. Carmichael Road, please see Reggie. Queens Highway, Freeport, see Bunker. That's Clayton. Or ask for Mistress Key.
We start with a yes, but when life takes unexpected turns, you can still say yes to more. The Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard credit card gives you points with every purchase that you can use to travel anywhere. Fly on any airline, anywhere, at any time, with no blackout dates. Plus, with just 20,000 Scotia points, you can say yes to destinations. With Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard credit card, it's easier to say yes to everything. Apply today.
This portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
The Royal Bahamas Defense Force arming its officers with the knowledge they need to counter the criminal element. Today, a group of them alongside partners in law enforcement graduated from a training exercise. Arla Dawn Davis was there.
It was a month to remember for some 35 Defense Force officers, 50 police officers, and 2 customs officers who received hands-on training in the classroom and on the high seas in small boat handling, marine tactics, and air and ground close combats. On Thursday, the participants graduated from the Joint Combined Training Exercise conducted by the United States Special Operations Command North and Naval Special Warfare instructors. Participant leading seaman Roscoe Green shared his experience.
Some of the tactics and training that we learned, going forward, we'll be able to implement those in our routine patrols, etc. We'll also be able to more effectively strategize our planning in terms of mission accomplishment and so forth moving forward. Helped me to utilize my leadership skills. Me being the senior person amongst the squad, I was able to deploy them in the different formations. Also, I was able to organize the squads into different formations.
Meanwhile, Commodore Bethel says this training exercise is just what the force needs to better protect our borders.
This joint combined exchange training exercise it ties into, see, this is one of the things that is unfolding right now. It ties into this overall concept of a multi-layered security approach where you are now bringing all of your law enforcement agencies together, and what is fundamental to the success of bringing them together is the training on how to operate together and how to function together.
Minister of National Security, the Honorable Marvin Dame, says it's the government's commitment to ensure that law enforcement officers receive the best available training, confidence, ability, and capacity to keep us all safe. Assistant Police Commissioner for Operational Support, Ken Strawn, echoed similar sentiments.
I view it as an extremely beneficial that our local law enforcement agencies were able to interact with members of the U.S. Special Warfare community to learn new tactics and techniques.
We have been facing over the past several years incidents of violence, incidents of smuggling, both on land
and at sea, you find that the officers now have a little better strength and ability to go out there and continue their fight.
Several police and defense force participants will travel to St. Kitts and Nevis this weekend to attend further training and the execution of the Trade Winds program. Trade Winds will take place June 12th through 22nd and focuses on countering transnational and organized crimes. LaDawn Davis, ZNS Network News.
An off-duty police officer was shot following an attempted carjacking early this morning. Police say just after 2 o'clock this morning, the officer was off the Tonic-Williams-Darling Highway when two men approached him and attempted to enter his vehicle. The culprits were not successful and fled the scene. The officer then followed them to the Robinson Road area where they jumped out of their car and fired shots at the officer. The officer returned fire but ended up being injured. He was taken to hospital. An investigation is ongoing and the search for those men continues. 5 foreign nationals from China and Ecuador facing a magistrate today charged with possession of dangerous drugs with the intent to supply. They were arrested on Saturday in the area of East Bay Street. The group included 4 Chinese, ages 39 and 35, along with 2 minors, a male and a female, both 17 years old. The Ecuadorian was 18 years old. Now they've all pleaded not guilty to the charges and have been remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections. They're due back in court August 7th.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
This is your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm DeAndre Williamson. Only 20% of Bahamas Resolve's toxic loans from the Bank of the Bahamas are recoverable. Minister of Finance Peter Turnquest made this announcement during his 2018-2019 budget communication in the House of Assembly yesterday. The other 80% won't be recovered. Turnquest says $80 million of the full payment of $100 million has been reclassified as a capital expenditure. Consequently, the outturn for capital expenditure in 2017-2018 at $233 million is largely in line with the budget projection. In other business news, the government has established a sinking fund to accommodate the repayment of the recent $750 million international bond issue and will contribute some $39 million to that fund in 2018-2019 fiscal year. The sinking fund is a measure to manage debt more responsibly. And in international business news, stocks fell sharply on Thursday after the European Union and Canada say they would retaliate against U.S. tariffs. The Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped 300 points, with Boeing contributing to most of the losses to the index. The S&P 500 declined 0.8% as consumer staples lagged. Meanwhile, the Nasdaq Composite pulled back 0.3%. That was your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm DeAndre Williamson.
It's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's Bahama Man, a main character of US-based entertainment and educational company, Aunt Jemima's Playhouse, that has taken the United States by storm. Owned by entrepreneurs Tyrone Sawyer II and his wife Jemima, Bahama Man visits 20,000 children a week around the U.S. Mr. Sawyer says the fictional superhero has become a tourism ambassador for the islands of the Bahamas.
Bahama Man is definitely a tourism ambassador because we've actually had shows in the U.S. where we have sent prize winners from hotels that have sponsored our shows to the Bahamas. So they call me, or they call one of our 50 instructors Bahama Man or Bahama Mama, and so the Bahamas is on everybody's tongue from everybody that we come in contact with.
Recently, Aunt Jemima's Playhouse visited P.A. Gibson Primary School in Hatchet Bay, Eleuthera, to entertain scores of children wanting to sing and dance with the energetic character. Mr. Sawyer says plans are now underway to make Bahama Man a permanent staple in the community through a multi-million-dollar project dubbed Tourism Adventures.
It's actually a fast ferry from Nassau to Hatchet Bay, and it's 50.2 miles, and the ferry operates at 48 knots per hour. So it's going to get you there in 1 hour. And Jemima's Playhouse, you'll be greeted by Bahama Man and the villain Waisatron when you get off the boat. And it's going to bring 70,000 tourists to the island of Eleuthera. and it's going to create 70 jobs in the first year.
For more on this story, visit tourismtoday.com. For the Tourism Today Network, I'm Kendia Smith.
Free, reliable, anytime, anywhere, and instant. That's the benefits of using RBC's digital banking, ATM services, or mobile app. Pay bills, check account balances, transfer funds, and more. Enjoy the freedom of banking on your own terms. Why wait in line? Save time. Do your banking using RBC's digital banking, ATM services, or mobile app. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean to find out more.
Let's celebrate our islands. Cheers to the new world. The Hopetown Lighthouse and Bahama Parrot. Coral Gardens of Acklins and Crooked Island. Let's celebrate Andros. Let's celebrate the Grand Bahama Shipyard. Sport fishing in Bimini. The sweet sounds of Rake and Scrape. Eleuthera Sweet Pineapple. Our world-famous swimming pigs. Let's celebrate our national bird. Let's celebrate Long Island. Our sea turtles in Mayaguana. Junk Canoe. Let's celebrate Ragged Island. Click, the beer of the Bahamas, celebrating 30 years.
First Care is an absolute game changer for thousands of Bahamians who do not have major medical insurance, and it also serves as a supplementary plan for those who may have high deductibles on their existing major medical. First Care is incredibly affordable, but for our Alive subscribers, you get an even deeper discount. Our Silver subscribers receive a 10% discount. Our Gold subscribers receive a 15% discount, and our Platinum subscribers receive a 20% discount. We're excited to be a part of Alive's rewards program because this is a new and innovative way for us to reach our customers.
This is Get Me Ride. With our app, you easily sign up to ride and ride whenever you want. All of our drivers are certified taxi drivers. Add funds to your wallet and rate your drivers. Want to be a driver? Download Get Me Ride, the #1 transportation and taxi provider. Visit getmeride.org.
The Bahamas Red Cross Society says it's still in dire need of donations to meet its financial goals. The organization's annual budget is pegged at $600,000, but Director General Caroline Turnquest says they only raised about $46,000 from the Red Cross Fair in April. She says that figure doesn't compare to the $78,000 they normally collect.
We are having serious financial dilemma because of the ongoing expenses. You know, there's your utility bills, there's your staff bills, you know, you have to purchase food, you have to keep the doors open. And so, yes, we have been very much challenged over these past few months, and it's becoming, you know, difficult, and hence we'll run from one fundraiser to the next. So be on the lookout shortly. We have a fundraiser coming up in August is our next planned fundraiser, which will be a golf tournament. But in between there, we're looking to see what we can do.
Well, stay tuned. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, your news leader. We'll be back right after this break.
There's nothing as powerful as knowing where you belong. No more waiting. It's time to come home. Come home to friendly smiles. Come home to convenience. Come home to more interest on savings and lower fees. Come home to our bank and your bank. Come home to Bank of the Bahamas, your bank of solutions.
If you own a portfolio of securities within a brokerage account, like stocks, bonds, or mutual funds, you can access a hassle-free loan, known as a margin loan, based on the value of that portfolio. Your investment portfolio is essentially used as collateral for a cash loan. And the benefits are numerous. Simple and straightforward application, quick turnaround, a more competitive interest rate, no requirement for monthly payments. Contact us for more information on margin loans.
Every day you wake up with the world in the palm of your hand. Making connections and creating memories and sharing them with the people you care about. Every day, the world is at your fingertips, and you can experience every blockbuster movie in stunning HD and top 100 Billboard music hit with the touch of a button. Every day, your family and friends are important to you, and staying in touch no matter where you are in the Bahamas or the world is your #1 priority. And that's why, every day for over 100 years, BTC has been there to ensure that every Bahamian has the best connection to the world. We cover every island, rock, and key, regardless of the cost. This is BTC Country.
Move forward, Bahamas, and build high into the sky. Move upward and colorize those new walls. Move onward and build a garden to last a lifetime. Move together and settle into that new home. There's a lot of places you can do it for yourself, but there's one place to do it right. Builders Mall. We know exactly what motto you live by, and even the pros know building is just a part of what we do. So move forward, Bahamas. And remember, you can find it all at Builders Mall.
Life happens, and when it does, FG Insurance Agents and Brokers is here. We help you protect the assets you've worked hard to attain. We offer home, auto, marine, commercial, and liability insurance. Don't hesitate to protect what matters with FG Insurance Agents and Brokers. Visit us and speak to your agent today, or call us at 396-1490 in Nassau or 688-1500 in Freeport.
Free, reliable, anytime, anywhere, and instant. That's the benefits of using RBC's digital banking, ATM services, or mobile app. Pay bills, check account balances, transfer funds, and more. Enjoy the freedom of banking on your own terms. Why wait in line? Save time. Do your banking using RBC's digital banking, ATM services, or mobile app. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean to find out more.
Well, it's time for your first check of weather. We check in with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. And Basil, it's a holiday weekend. What are those winds looking like over in Long Island?
Well, the winds are falling off quite nicely. Around Long Island, they should be around 12 to 18 knots, but we should get them down to about 10 to 15 knots by tomorrow. And right now, we have about 4.5 hours before the start of the official hurricane season, so preparedness remains the buzzword. Taking a look now at temperatures around the Family of Islands, and these are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 82 degrees in Freeport, also Green Toll Key in Abaco, Marsh, Abaco. 83 degrees here in the capital. We're picking up 81 degrees, Harbor Island, 79. 80 degrees in Rock Sandy, Lupus, Stanley Key in Exuma Chain, 80. 80s also in Kemp Space, St. Andrews, and Fresh Creek in Central Andros. San Salvador, Rum Key, Georgetown, Exuma, and Adderstown, Cadet Island also reporting some 80s, more 80s throughout the southeast Bahamas, and that would be Clarencetown, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, Megwana, Acklands, and Ragged Island. Matthewtown, Inago, a little warmer at 82, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 80 degrees. Your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Setter. In the northwest and central islands, southeast winds 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet, high tide at 9:26 tonight. For the southeast Bahamas, winds southeast at 12 to 18 knots, and the wave heights 3 to 6 feet over the ocean. Taking you into tomorrow, which is Friday, southeast winds at 10 to 15 knots, so boating conditions not bad at all. Wave heights around 2 to 4 feet. High tide 9:28 in the morning, low tide at 3:27 in the afternoon. For the southeast Bahamas tomorrow, southeast winds 12 to 18 knots of the moderate variety. Wave heights 3 to 5 feet with a slight chop. And then on Saturday, for all areas, we're going to have those winds out of the southeast at 10 to 15 and the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your travel forecast. And your travel forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
He was barking at the two men who were gambling in the dark. It was Stagger Lee and Billy, two men who gambled lit. Stagger Lee threw a 7, Billy swore that he threw 8. Stagger Lee told Billy, I can't let you go with that.
And that's going to do it for your travel forecast brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is coming up in about 25 minutes.
Welcome to Tips for Wellness. I'm Dr. Indira Grimes. Colon cancer is cancer of the large intestine or colon, the lower part of your digestive system. Rectal cancer is the cancer of the last several inches of the colon. Together, they're often referred to as colorectal cancers. Most cases of colon cancer begin as small, non-cancerous, benign clumps of cells called adenomatous polyps. Over time, some of these polyps become colon cancers. Polyps may be small and produce few, if any, symptoms. For this reason, doctors recommend regular screening tests to help prevent colon cancer by identifying polyps before they become colon cancer. Symptoms of colon cancer include a change in your bowel habits, including diarrhea or constipation, or a change in the consistency of your stool, rectal bleeding or blood in your stool, persistent abdominal discomfort such as cramps, gas, or pain, a feeling that your bowel doesn't empty completely, weakness or fatigue, unexplained weight loss. Talk to your doctor about when you should begin screening for colon cancer. Guidelines generally recommend colon cancer screenings begin at age 50. Your doctor may recommend more frequent or earlier screening if you have other risk factors, such as a family history of the disease. This has been Tips for Wellness. I'm Dr. Indira Grimes. Live your best life by living well.
We are at the Golden Gates Assembly Church, where we are highlighting 120 of our nation's brightest and best. This is the Primary School Student of the Year Award.
I climbed so many mountains this time.
It is amazing from whence we came. We started in 1997, not giving out any type of financial scholarship. Till tonight, we're giving over $180,000 in cash scholarships alone, and then $35,000 in prizes.
Just 22 years, and this is the first year that we've been able to give every single nominee.
I'm very grateful, dear ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, that we are giving honor to the most precious resource that we have in our country, our children.
I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. If I fail,
BTC says congratulations to this year's Primary School Student of the Year, 10-year-old Remington Minnis, and congratulations to all of our recipients. I'm Corvell Piper, and we'll see you next BTC Connection.
every island and every key, keep in touch with everybody. It's BTC every day. Every day, every day, every day, every day.
The performance speaks for itself. Pennzoil Synthetics, made from natural gas. Make the switch.
Joy has something new in store for you. For even longer-lasting suds, a more powerful clean, and a delightful new scent, try Joy Orange. Try it now, and you could win a trip for two to Vegas, a trip for two to Orlando, or $1,000 cash. Just buy two 30-ounce bottles of Joy Orange and take your receipt to purchase on Robinson Road. Try Joy Orange and enter to win today. Promotion ends June 22nd.
Life is better with Rubus Rewards. Just fuel up and swipe for your chance to win free fuel, cash back in our stores, restaurant and store discounts from our partners, plus prizes and surprises. It doesn't get better than this. Your Rubus Reward tag is free at every Rubus service station in New Providence. Get yours today. Rubus, it's just better.
A flat screen or a fishing excursion, a gas grill or a GoPro. Win these great gifts for your dad. Just buy Gillette razors and shave products and enter at Pritchard's for your chance to win.
No matter what your goals are in life, you have to start somewhere. It all begins with Leno. Leno, bridging possibilities. Call us at 396-3225 or email info@lenobahamas.com.
Looking to upgrade your refrigerator stove or purchase an affordable home generator? We've got the perfect solution for you. Bahamas Welding and Fire is the best choice for the lowest prices in town. We carry top-of-the-line outdoor barbecue grills, air conditioners, refrigerators, stoves, generators, industrial hardware, and garden supplies with a wide assortment of tools and accessories. Open Monday through Saturday. Telephone 394-0004. BWF, we're more than just our name.
Bounty and Charmin will have you winning and grinning.
Yes!
Buy these products and enter to win these prizes.
Nice!
Win and grin with Bounty and Charmin today.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Welcome to sports, everybody. Team Bahamas continuing its success at the Americas Group 3 Davis Cup tie in Costa Rica. Earlier today, the 2-4-2 scoring a win over Jamaica. Philip Major taking to the court first in singles. He made quick work of his opponent 6-1-3. Baker Newman, a tougher time, but came back from a set down to pick up the win 1-6, 7-5, and 7-5. As for the doubles, Marvin Roll and Jody Turnquist, they won the first set 6-3. Got behind an early break in the second, but got back on serve before waiting at a rain delay at 5-6. And from there, they would put the match away in a tie break. The Bahamas, they now finish off pool play tomorrow against Bermuda. The crossover playoffs take place on the weekend. A top 2 finish is required there to advance back to Group 2 in 2019. From the college baseball diamond, Perez Knowles pitched a shutout on Tuesday, racking up 7 strikeouts to lead Columbus State to a 6-0 win over UC San Diego in the Division II World Series. That win put Columbus State within 1 win of advancing to the title series.
He made some really good pitches, and maybe we got a little lucky here and there, but especially in the 8th inning when we got the double play ball with the bases loaded, that was a big play for us. But that's pitching, is making those pitches and getting out of trouble. That's just as important as going 1, 2, 3. Sometimes you got to be able to go out there and make a pitch when you need to, and Perez certainly did.
I just had to keep fighting through it and make the pitches and let the defense help me out.
Columbus State was back on the diamond this morning, losing 3-2 to Florida Southern. Those two teams play again tomorrow afternoon at 3. The winner there moves on to play for the national championship. The longest-standing national records erased last weekend by Malik Short, a senior at Indiana Tech. Short, an athlete who trained with Bradley Cooper before heading to college, took down his mentor's mark with a throw of 18.37 meters, inking his name in the history books with a second-place finish at the NAIA Outdoor Championships.
It was a great day and great competition, the best that I'd ever been in personally. National runner-up finish is the best finish any thrower from my school had ever achieved at our nationals. So to start strong, opening up my competition with the new national record, that was a big breakthrough mentally to put pressure on the competition. It's all still a little surreal to me. Coach Cooper trained me during high school, and he's like the gold standard for Bahamian throwers with everything that he achieved during his career. So to now have broken both the indoor and outdoor national records is something very special to me. Breaking such a long-standing record, I just want to take it further now, as I make my push to the world level.
In addition to those accolades, Short also earned his 3rd consecutive academic all-district selection and is now among the finalists for the academic all-American team, which will be announced next month. He currently sports a 3.78 GPA as a software engineering major. Well, back here at home, it's all about the Long Island Regatta this weekend in Salt Pond. And for the very latest, we're going to swing it right there to our Vaughn Aubrey.
Thanks, Jonathan. We are here live at Salt Pond, Long Island. This is the place to be. Behind me, the sun is setting here at Salt Pond, Long Island, the harbor. And guess what? There were a number of races today, and this 51st annual Long Island Regatta has been all about Long Island. Long Island has won most of the races today. Once again, the familiar name, Stephen Knowles. He took all 3 races. In second place, his older brother, Mark Knowles, second place. So it's all about Mangrove Bush, Long Island. And despite that, we still have Exuma's Buzzy Roll. What happened today?
We sailed the boat, we come from Exuma, shorter crew, and, to beat these Long Island guys, you got to come at your best, 110%, so unfortunately we didn't have our crew. We pick up some crew here, we still have a good boat, but we had a 4th place finish.
What about the cup race? Because these points are a part of this.
We had a heavy loss in the cup race. We had some problems, we lost that. But I think, the crew feeling us and we feeling the crew to getting to know the boat. So we'll do pretty good tomorrow.
There you go. Buzzy Rose says Exuma is not, don't count them out yet. But right here at the regatta, there's so many things happening. And indeed with me is Commodore Chester Fox. What's on for tonight and tomorrow?
Well, tonight we have some live entertainment. I'm not quite sure, either Elon, Moxie, or...
No, we got Julian, Believe, and Lady E.
Oh, okay, that sounds great.
And the Long Island Connection Band.
Yeah, well, Long Island is doing it in style. We're trying to take sailing and regattas to a much higher level in the country.
This is popular. So many people are making their way here to Salt Pond.
Yeah, I think even before the evening is out, we'll have a much bigger crowd. But tomorrow, you're going to have to pick your way through people tomorrow. It'll be hard to walk through here tomorrow.
Indeed, Chester Fox. So many people are making their way here to Long Island. A number of flights tomorrow, a number of charters, a number of boats coming. But guess what? I want you to take a look, as our cameraman Chris knows, spans the crowd here at Long Island. Long Island, you're on TV right now. Can you say hello? You're live on TV. Yes, and indeed there's so much more at this 51st Long Island Regatta. But for now, I am Vaughn Aubrey, ZNS Total Sports.
Lord Vaughn, now back here in the capital, or I could say in the nation's second city over the weekend, the Rumble in the Backyard. That's the pro boxing card they had. It was very good, and as Charles Fisher tells us, the event showcased the 242's next heavyweight contender.
Bahamians get to know the next great Bahamian heavyweight. Already 5-0 with 4 knockouts, Amron Sands fights out of Orlando, Florida. I was happy to go punch to punch on Bahamian soil for the first time.
Very good to be fighting our home. We look to do we look to do a lot more shows here in the Bahamas. We would like more for the government to really support athletes coming up. For me, I had to go to the States to really step forward in my career. The Bahamas should really step up and support their athletes, Instead of us have to always going off and then getting recognition over there and then have to get shipped back here to perform.
At 6'3", 246 pounds, the 24-year-old gentle giant wants Bahamians to really get to know him.
We try to stay as humble as possible. Focus. Stay away from all the trouble, all the drugs, violence and all that. So as a kid, I always stayed in sports, but kept me focused on being an athlete.
His decision to move to the States was a business one.
It's good because I get more sparring-wise, I get more competition, more exposure, more looks at promoters and world champions and excellent coaching.
So Bahamians now will know about Amron Sands.
Yeah, they can know about us because we're looking to do a lot more shows here in the 242. The Bahamas really don't promote boxing; they promote track and field. They don't promote basketball or just track. So I had to move to the States if I wanted to pursue a professional athlete being a boxer.
We're going to see Amron Sands as the next world champion.
Yeah, you know that, all the way.
So what's next?
June 9 in Tampa.
You're going to fight?
The opponent are not confirmed as yet, but we got June 9 already scheduled.
Looking forward to that, and Bahamians now should be too. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Charles Fisher.
Bahamians hitting the lanes to find out who's the best of the best. For more on that, here's Amajal Knowles.
Play continuing in the Bahamas National Bowling Championships last evening at Mario's Bowling Alley, and last week we gave you an insight on how the men's side was shaking out. But this week we turn our attention to the females. After a week of competition, Driscoll Roll is comfortably ahead with a total pin count of 977, but Joy Lockhart and Tara Johnson are seeking to close the gap with 892 and 820 respectively. We caught up with the ladies to see how they felt about their play.
Can't look too far ahead. Just taking one game, one ball at a time, making sure that I execute my shot, and just try to string one good game after the next, which will take me to Saturday. And then hopefully Sunday, obviously there will be some nerves on Sunday. There always is when you're on camera, when there are persons behind you, but just have to, deal with it.
The first game I missed some easy spares. The second game, I'm trying to get my momentum back, so I need to get back on track where I started out, throwing my first 3 balls in the first game.
The lanes tonight, they're playing a little difficult, but I'm trying to keep with the shot, and eventually if I keep with the shot and focus, I'll be making good shots and I should have some good games.
As far as the level of competition on the women's side, the trio saying do not be fooled, as the games can be very intense.
There's a good handful, about 10 of us that bowl together, and it's the same circle, so just have to make sure that your game is still on par and that you keep yourself motivated and competitive.
This is the grand finale between the best. Driscoll and I is number 1 and number 2. Driscoll is number 1, I'm number 2. And both of us are very competitive, and she going for the win and I'm going for the win. Last year, both of us got beat, and the year before I was the champion going to the World Cup. So this year she would go because we did the tournaments completely different. But the competitiveness between us, both of us are very strong. Tara Johnson, she's also a competitive bowler.
I think it's highly competitive. So I think everyone is trying to fight to make that spot, and they got to do what they got to do. So just throwing good shots, and hopefully they'll make it to the top.
The round of 10 for the women's side is expected to be completed later tonight. And a special shout out to the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas' very own Anton Brennan, who is also competing on the men's side, and after 10 games played has knocked down a total of 1,500 pins. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Amajal Knowles.
And that will do it for sports. Stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight comes back after the break.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by 4th Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Introducing the Subway Simple 6 menu. 6 of our best 6-inch subs, now and made just for you meals for just $7.50 every day. Take your pick from our best subs, like the Italian BMT, tender turkey breast, sweet onion chicken teriyaki, and more. Pile them high with all of your favorite veggies, made just the way you say, with a 21-ounce drink and a bag of chips. The new Simple 6 menu is value made simple every day. Yeah, you so got it made. Subway, eat fresh.
Today is a day for fun. Today is a day for family. So why should yesterday's worries affect my today? That's why I insure my family with J.S. Johnson, because their mission is to provide us with the best insurance coverage possible. With J.S. Johnson, I know my family comes first, so I take comfort in knowing that they always have us covered, providing us with a great today and an even better tomorrow.
J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, giving you peace of mind.
This is Get Me Ride. With our app, you easily sign up to ride and ride whenever you want. All of our drivers are certified taxi drivers. Add funds to your wallet and rate your drivers. Want to be a driver? Download Get Me Ride, the #1 transportation and taxi provider. Visit getmeride.org.
Buy Pampers and you can pin it to win it. Guess how many diaper pins are on display at Pritchard's? You could win up to $2,000 for the closest guess. Buy Pampers and pin it to win it today.
Imagine you have Hollywood at your command. Introducing Flow Evil.
Red cheese, gold rings, all black, everything creeping through the night.
Anywhere you are.
Big girls don't scream hard like Halloween, make me feel alive.
There's a world of entertainment here, and you run the show. Flow Evil.
James Aubrey. Now that Bahamas residents can fly or cruise free to the family islands, what are your summer vacation plans?
I'm going to Abaco.
And there is no better time than now with the 2 Fly or Cruise Free promotion, where all residents of the Bahamas can fly or cruise free to the family islands from Nassau. Refresh, reconnect, and unwind in the family islands. For details, go to bahamasresidents.com and fly or cruise free to the family islands today.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, we still have tropical moisture streaming towards the north, but remaining pretty much to the west of us, and that is certainly good news. High pressure also collapsing, so those winds are coming down quite nicely heading into the holiday weekend. We're looking at wind speeds about 10 to 50 knots, wave heights about 2 to 4 feet, which is ideal for boating. So if you care to, go out there and enjoy the waters. Tonight, we're looking at partly cloudy, somewhat on the warm side, with your low temperature getting down to 77 degrees. And tomorrow, it's going to be partly sunny and simply hot. High temperature 88 degrees, so you're going to have to keep some liquids nearby if you're taking that walk tomorrow to keep yourself hydrated. 7-day forecast holding like this. Upper 80s, even popping to 90 possibly on Monday of next week, and lots of sunshine in the forecast, so you cannot complain. We always talk about Labor Day showers, but it doesn't seem as though any is in the working for this one, so we'll just wait and see how that unfolds. But a couple of things are happening in about 4 hours from now. The official start of the hurricane season gets going, and then the Bahamas Road Masters, they're having what they call a midnight Madness fun run and walk starting at Arawak Key. So you have a couple of things to start your holiday. You have the opening of hurricane season, then you have that fun run. So if you're not doing anything, go out and enjoy yourself.
Fun and running at 12 a.m. I don't know.
Keep those liquids there.
What type of liquids, Basil?
We're talking about H2O.
Just water.
Yeah.
Johnny, you clear? All right. But whatever you end up doing this holiday season, have fun and, of course, stay safe. That does it for us in the Bahamas tonight. On behalf of all of us, thanks for watching and have a good night. Told we have this programming note for you just before we go. Finally, the Ministry of Finance's budget press conference will be rebroadcast at 9 o'clock tonight. Again, you're invited to stay tuned at 9 o'clock. That budget press conference, will be rebroadcast right here on the ZNS network. Good night, everyone.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.